Hey everybody, this is going to be a very quick off-the-cuff response to an interesting video I found. I'm going to try to do these short videos every now and again just to add a little bit more content. Sorry if I ramble a little bit. I tried doing this before and it was a horrific ramble. So let's try. Video I'm responding to is down below. So let's go do the thing. Let's go do the thing. Anyway.
Dr. John Bartimus here of Accelerate Chiropractic to talk
about
this week's topic for Accelerate Thinking, which is looking at the germ theory, and is it
Ooh, I like that theory.
a valid way to live our lives?
Well, yeah, if you like, not being sick and, keeping good hygiene and cooking your food well and, not eating any any raw meat, and ensure that it's all really cooked well and that you wash your hands afterwards or before eating dinner and all that general good thing, keeping your teeth nice and clean. Yeah, it's pretty good theory.
Now, the germ theory states that the cause of sickness and disease are germs.
Well, the cause of infectious disease are germs. There are diseases out there that aren't caused by germs, such as genetics disease, which you bring up later in the video. Diseases like cancer, diabetes, mental health. Mental health, mental health, it's in the title, is part of your overall health, which is often overlooked by some people. And that's another video, but yeah, your mental health is also part of your health. Look after that shit, because it's horrible when it goes wrong.
And if this is true, then we need to be wary of germs and wash our hands and practice hygiene that will prevent germs from spreading and making us sick.
Yeah. Why do you say that you shouldn't wash your hands? That you shouldn't have to wash your hands to prevent people from getting sick? Should doctors not make sure their hands are nice and scrubbed and sterile when they're going in to perform surgery? Or do you not accept the whole surgery thing? I'm kind of curious about that, but I don't know. Yeah, people, wash your hands, especially when you're preparing raw meat. And or after raw meat, and before and after raw meat, good to be safe, and before eating dinner, and especially working in the yard, doing your gardening thing. Yeah, wash your hands, people. Keep them nice and clean, especially when you're eating, and especially when you're sneezing as well. I'm rambling too much. I can't stop.
So if I were to cough in my hand and go touch a door handle, and you had to go over and open that door after I had touched it, it may cross your mind that you're kind of paranoid to touch it because you don't want...
Well, I'd be more curious as in, why did you immediately touch the door handle after you coughed into your hand? That's kind of a dick move. Why didn't you at least rub it against your jeans or do some display of, trying to, I'm going to make sure my hands are clean. I know you won't have a towel or a sanitizer handy. But seriously, dude, what the hell? That, and also, I'm hungry, I want to go get food. And yeah, that's about it.
My germs, and immediately after you open the door, you'd run in the bathroom.
I know, you seem quite like a young, healthy, spry young fellow.
And wash your hands to get the germs off to prevent, theoretically, getting sick. My question to you is, have you ever been exposed to germs that your husband or children have been exposed to and you got sick but they didn't?
Well, I think I know where you're going with this. And yes, that has happened before where I've been exposed to germs and one person got sick and I didn't. And that's really just down to differences between myself and, in this case, it was a friend of mine. His immune system was not as good as mine. My immune system was able to fight back against this cold. It was a cold in this case. My immune system was able to fight against that cold, and his wasn't. We are different in our immune response. We're not all the same. We may be humans, but our immune systems are not all equally as good. There's variation in our immune response, as there's variation in everything. For humans. So yeah, that's basically it. And sometimes, just to maybe generalize a little, it mainly may be due to differences between humans and their susceptibility to infection, which may be due to the immune response, health status. Some may be immunocompromised. Someone may be just recovering from surgery. If you're recovering from surgery, you're more susceptible to nosocomial infections. That's infections from the hospital. This is why antibiotic-resistant bacteria are such a big issue in hospitals, but people have greater susceptibility. Nutrition is also important as well. I'll include some links in the down below bar about that. But yeah, there's a difference, and there could be also something quite simply that maybe for him, in the case of my friend, maybe he had some flu, maybe some of the germs, in this case the cold virus on his hand, and he went like this, exposed himself. While I maybe went up to the bathroom and I said, "Oh, I'm going to wash my hands," and the flu virus is gone. Maybe that was the cause. It may not have got into my system at all, and maybe he got a higher viral load than I did. That's because you're exposed doesn't mean we both got the same dose of the bacteria. Maybe he got a higher dose. The number of bacteria, or viruses in this case, is important for the establishment of disease. The more bacteria you get, the bigger chance you have getting a disease, because disease needs to establish and grow, and if you have more bacteria, it's more likely to get a foothold. And I'm rambling. I'm explaining myself far too much. But yeah, down below, I'll do some links.
Think about that.
Okay.
Why did you get sick and they didn't?
I'm pretty sure I waffled on a little bit too long.
If the germ theory is true, all of you should have gotten sick because you were all exposed to the same germs.
Not necessarily true. We're all not the same individual. We all have immune systems, and that immune system has different ability, and our immune systems have different ability to fight off foreign invaders. Biology, medicine, there's a little bit more to it than just, you got exposed, therefore X. Is not simple.
Think about that. That's almost like the germ theory is almost is treating germs the same way that the genetics theory treats genetics. But in
what?
reality, if the genetics theory was true, everyone with the breast cancer gene would get breast cancer.
There's no breast cancer gene. I know what gene you're talking about. You're talking about the BRCA1 gene, which increases your risk of cancer. But it's not, this is the cancer gene. We're going to an area called non-Mendelian genetics. The first time I actually did this video, funny enough, I actually almost called it non-Newtonian genetics, which would have been hilarious. That would have been a hilarious subject of biology, but I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, non-Newtonian genetics, that's completely different. Where in Mendelian genetics, if you have, let's say you have the dominant gene for brown eyes, you will have brown eyes. Not if you have the dominant, but in non-Newtonian I did it there. In non-Mendelian genetics, I don't know why I do that. I am recording this at like 9:45, and I am in fact non-Mendelian genetics is a bit more complicated than that. It deals more with risk. So if you have the gene for brown eyes, you have a 90% chance of having brown eyes. It's a bit like height. If you have these number of what we call single nucleotide polymorphisms, you it'd be easy to predict your height. Maybe eye colour's a bit stretching it there. I'm just using the classical example of that I use for secondary school students. But yeah, genetics and the breast cancer BRCA1 gene, it's a bit different. I'm pretty sure it's the BRCA1 gene. I'll put somewhere. It's somewhere on the video. It's been a long time since I've done this. Could be here, could be here, could be here, could be behind me now because we're going into 3D. You can see me in 3 dimensions, right? I know that doesn't exist yet. Or does it? I don't know. I'm rambling. Why can't I stop?
You don't see that. If the germ theory was true, everyone who is exposed to a certain germ would get the sickness that germ creates. We don't see that either. So the germ theory of disease and the genetics theory of disease are not true.
Based on 1 minute and 51 seconds of video, and you've disproved two entire fields of research with thousands of papers to back these research topics up with, well, I don't understand this because of I haven't bothered to look it up, therefore it is false. Well, sorry, I have a habit of fidgeting. Bravo. Bra-fucking-o.
The genetics theory is true for 2.5% of diseases, but 97%.
But, wait, what? Okay, I don't know where you got that number from, but yeah, just because genetics doesn't explain all the diseases, it's not supposed to. It's just to explain inherited it's supposed to explain inherited diseases, such as sickle cell anemia or cystic fibrosis. It's not supposed to explain things like diabetes, or maybe there is a genetic aspect to diabetes. It's not supposed to explain like malaria or cancer, although cancer is a mutation involved in the DNA and blah blah blah. So technically it is a genetic disease, but it's more of a so it's a little bit complicated. But yeah, or heart disease. Although you could explain that it's differentiating smooth muscle cells, and oh god. Okay. Biology is complicated. Okay? Just because genetic disease doesn't explain everything, all diseases, doesn't mean it's false. It's only supposed to explain a subset of disease. Infectious disease and germ theory explains infectious disease. Why is this complicated for you?
2.5% of disease is not due to genetics. The germ theory is false, as I've shown with just a couple simple analogies here.
Do you even know what analogies are? Right. Do I know what analogies are? You're making me question things that you weren't even supposed to make me question. Duh.
And even the man who created the germ theory, Louis Pasteur, on his deathbed, even said that the germ theory was false. What he said.
So what? It doesn't matter. Science has moved on long since Pasteur. Pasteur could have declared from the rooftops, I made it all up. Ha ha ha. You are fucking dopes. And then died. That's nice. Doesn't explain all the scientific experiments that have been done between then and now. It doesn't negate all these papers that are coming out, finding the cause of disease for Staphylococcus aureus infections, Ebola, Zika, etc., common cold, flus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa infection, cystic fibrosis, patient's lungs, etc., etc. And just because I do research it, mastitis.
Beauchamp was right. Beauchamp was Antoine Beauchamp, his contemporary and his competitor, who at the same time that Pasteur was promoting the germ theory, Beauchamp was promoting the terrain theory. And what the terrain theory said was your health depends on your terrain, or the inner environment of your body. the healthier that your terrain was, the healthier you were. If you had unhealthy terrain or an unhealthy environment inside your body, you were sick or got sick more often. And this is what we're finding and what research is finding more and more every day. It's the environment and what we're exposed to and our lifestyle choices that have a direct influence on our inner environment.
Well, I'll grant you, and I'll be very charitable here. Yes, our environment, our lifestyle, can influence our health. We can get diseases, some diseases, our risk of disease can be increased by our lifestyle, such as cancer. You know, if we start smoking, if I'm going to start smoking 20 packs a day, I'll have a higher risk of cancer. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to get cancer. I know you like antidotes, so here's one. My grandfather smoked since he was 14. It was when he was doing the farm work back in the old days when he was in cabin and he was a young lad. His dad used to give him a cigarette as a reward for doing the farm work, and he kept that up until he was in his 60s, and then he had a heart attack. And then, as good old cabin men do after having a heart attack and waking up in hospital, he asked for a smoke. And this was back in the 80s in good old fashioned Ireland, where men were men and sheep were nervous. He asked for a smoke, and he was given one. And he was about to light it up, and the doctor walked in and just pretty much took a look at him and said, "If you light that smoke, I have nothing to do with you." So yeah, he asked, so the smoking caused the heart attack? And he said, yeah, the smoking caused the heart attack. Pretty much about it. So he quit smoking since then, and he never got lung cancer, and died about in around last Christmas due to, well, he was 95. So yeah, due to time, death by time. But yeah, does that mean that smoking necessarily disproves? Does that mean that disproves that smoking causes cancer? No, but smoking does increase your risk of cancer. And yeah, I probably should go back and edit that out. I don't think that was really relevant. I think I gotta keep it.
That determine our health and our sickness. So I'm here today to tell you that the germ theory is false, and although there are germs that cause disease,
what?
On our inner environments that determine our health
and
our sickness. So I'm here today to tell you that the germ theory is false, and although there are germs that cause disease,
What the